So Matt was just wondering how we knew that the Bible was that Goliath was 9 feet tall. And for those of you that have the New English translation, it's going to say that Goliath's height was just under 7 feet. But they have a footnote that explains why the committee made this decision.
A committee?
Yeah. But according to the scriptures, Goliath was 6 cubits and a span tall, which is about 9 feet 6 inches if you take the fact that a cubit's about 18 inches. But here's what's funny about that. So a cubit is the length of a man between his fingernails and his elbow. So
if you're doing that on a giant, that's kind of off.
Yeah, because that could be 1,000,000 feet, because if he's that big, his cubits would be that.
I guess it goes off the average man.
Yeah, but the standard cubit is said to be about 18 inches. And so he's 6 cubits in a span, which would be 3.2 meters.
For those of you that can't see what's happening in the studio, Craig and Tanner are comparing lengths of forearm to fingertips.
Seeing who's my cubit's bigger. Seeing who
my cubit's bigger than your cubit.
They're comparing cubits. So 3.2 meters for those of our international friends, and 9 foot 6 inches for those of you who are still here in the States. And what's funny is, so the New English translation, they made him under 7 feet because they felt, 9.5 feet, it's hard to imagine people that big. It seems not really credible. It's hard to think that David would have slown a 9.5 feet guy with a rock. So we're going to help out.
Let's help God out.
Yeah. But here's my thing. It's like when you're watching Superman. And you start doing the physics of like the rotation of the Earth, and you're like, well, wait a minute, that wouldn't have actually happened. Wait, hang on. You're going to believe in someone from another world who came here with superpowers, and yet the physics and the math are what throw you? Like the suspension of disbelief doesn't really carry over?
Yeah.
All right. So now we actually are talking about a story that actually happened, but the same principle applies.
Yes.
If you can believe in a God who spoke the universe into existence, are you telling me you really have a problem believing
that he can make someone 9 feet tall?
That there's someone 9.5 feet tall? You really have trouble believing that King David, a mighty man of God, one of the greatest kings that ever lived, historically, without even taking the contexts of the scripture, you're telling me you have problems with him slaying this 9.5 foot tall giant? When we can believe in the God who spoke the universe into existence and walked on water?
Sounds like people that might be grasping for straws to discredit the Bible.
Yeah. So I don't know that he really needs help being helped out, but we're told that he is 9 foot 6 inches, 3.2 meters, assuming that the cubit's the standard 18 inches, because he was 6 cubits and a span.